Hello and welcome to Provoking Tech. I'm Zach, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the effect of cryptocurrency mining on the GPU market, as well as talking about the discussion of cryptocurrency mining killing the PC gaming industry. There have been numerous videos on this topic in the last week or two, and there have been some very valid points coming from these videos. However, I've seen a lot of misconceptions about cryptocurrency in general, as well as in certain cases, there's been more to the picture than was portrayed within these videos. So the intent of today's video is just to fill in some of these gaps that I've seen in these various videos and provide a little bit more information to the community as a whole, both as cryptocurrency miners and gamers. And there are lots of people that I know, myself personally, who kind of fall in both branches, who kind of casually game and casually mine. So today's video is going to hopefully give a little bit more information on this ongoing discussion and talk about the effect of cryptocurrency mining and whether that is really killing PC gaming or not. So without further delay, let's go ahead and jump onto it. To begin this video, I wanted to discuss about the underlying issue that is causing the problems that we're seeing here in early 2018 that is causing the heavily inflated pricing of GPUs, but also the low stock availability of GPUs from our favorite retailers such as Amazon and Newegg. I strongly believe it's not the smaller cryptocurrency miners that are the root of this issue that might be buying, a handful or two of GPUs and having, 1 to 2 mining rigs set up. And it's certainly not gamers that are using their gaming rigs while they're idle, while they're sleeping at work or school, or otherwise not using their rig to mine cryptocurrencies. It's the very small minority of cryptocurrency miners that are the root of the problem, and these are the miners that have entire rooms or entire warehouses, dedicated to cryptocurrency mining. And it's not just these miners in general, but it's how they are acquiring their GPUs. And I'll get to that here in a little bit. But to hate on cryptocurrency in general, and to suggest people to otherwise not mine cryptocurrency with their gaming rigs or smaller scaled cryptocurrency rigs, because it has an ill effect on the PC gaming industry, is flawed logic at best. I think the vast majority of cryptocurrency miners are not the root of the problem. They are certainly adding to the demand of GPUs, but to a smaller scale, so are other new technologies such as machine learning and AI, which are further taking advantage of GPUs simply because GPUs are so well at doing multiple parallel tasks at the same time, which is great for tasks like machine learning and AI. So there's a lot of technologies right at this point in time, that are all kind of funneling and causing a lot more demand for GPUs in general. And to hate on cryptocurrency specifically and saying that it alone is causing the demise of PC gaming is flawed logic at best, in my opinion. There is a lot of more demand though because of cryptocurrency, but as I already mentioned, it's not the majority of cryptocurrency miners that are causing this root issue. It's the very small minority of cryptocurrency miners, and not just those miners, but how they are acquiring their cards. There have been a lot of reports that certain GPU manufacturers that haven't been named are selling large bulk shipments of video cards directly to the large-scale mining operations that I mentioned earlier, taking a large batch of consumer GPUs out of the traditional distribution system going through retailers. It's preventing traditional customers such as you or I from being able to purchase these cards from our favorite retailer. So not only do we have increased demand from cryptocurrency primarily, but also from machine learning and AI and other new technologies driving the increased demand, driving up the prices, but we also very likely have reduced supply that retailers have, also perpetuating this cycle and also adding to the cost of GPUs. So you kind of have a twofold factor coming into play that is increasing the cost of GPUs. We have increased demand, but we very likely have increased supply. On the flip side, we do have a free market, and I'm sure there are a lot of other major players out there buying large bulk shipments of GPUs, such as Amazon with their data centers. They have the GPU instances. You have like smaller cloud providers such as Paperspace. But these providers are likely buying the higher tier cards, such as the Quadro cards and the NVIDIA Grid cards, which are kind of in a completely different category from consumer GPUs, and possibly a resolution. And we kind of seen NVIDIA already starting this with their website. They're offering the Founder Edition cards straight on their website, but only limiting these consumer class cards to 1 to 2 per customer. And if other manufacturers kind of followed suit and only offer large bulk shipments of the professional tier cards, such as your Quadro, NVIDIA Quadro, and your NVIDIA Grid cards, then we would hopefully see an increased supply on our favorite retailers for the consumer level cards, which will hopefully start driving down prices to more reasonable levels. And that's why I think that it's these large scale mining operations that are sucking up a ton of consumer grade GPUs that are the root cause. I don't think it's cryptocurrency mining in general, which is increasing demand. I will admit that, but I don't think that is the root problem. It's the small minority of cryptocurrency miners that are really causing the problem that we're seeing especially in early 2018, as it's getting really crazy out of control. Now that I've talked about what I believe is a major root underlying issue that is leading to the rising GPU cost, I'm now going to move on to the misconceptions about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that I've heard in a lot of recent videos. And all this really stems from the fact that a lot of people believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are useless and waste a ton of power. Power both in terms of electricity, but also power in terms of computational power from our CPUs and GPUs that could be put to better uses, such as folding at home. While it is true that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, a lot of cryptocurrencies do useless math that is pretty much wasting computational power, there is still some good, because I do strongly believe that Bitcoin and the blockchain technology in general does have the power to completely revolutionize how we spend money and the financial market and our finances in general in the future. So there is a lot of good coming from it, I believe, and I do believe that it will completely revolutionize our finances in the future. But that is also not to say that there is not a ton of alternative coins that are completely wasting computational power, because they are useless cryptocurrencies. And with like over 1,000 active cryptocurrencies right now, there's a large pool of those that are completely useless, that really don't provide any benefit and any improvements over other cryptocurrencies out there and then available. And in terms of those are completely useless use cases of all the computational power that we are putting towards them. However, that is not to say that there are cryptocurrencies out there that are not doing good work with all the computational power put towards them. The first example is a little bit of an older cryptocurrency called Primecoin. And Primecoin is using their proof of work computational power that is being used to mine their cryptocurrency to find different pairs, or actually different sequences of prime numbers. And there's 3 different sequences of prime numbers that they're trying to find with the prime coin, and that does have at least a beneficial impact to our society and the human race in general, and it's not completely useless use case of the computational power being put into that cryptocurrency. Another more modern example is Golem, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. So I'm not going to dig too deep into Golem for this video, but I did want to mention it simply because it does have the possibility of being a huge player in the cryptocurrency world, and could be a very good example of putting all the power that we're already putting towards cryptocurrency to a very good use case that could both be very beneficial to the human race, but also a very valuable use case for different businesses out there. So Golem is an off-chain solution utilizing Ethereum smart contracts that uses Ethereum for the transaction layer, but all the computational power being utilized with Golem is being done for real-world tasks. So once Golem exits the alpha, the first iteration will be able to do 3D CGI. One program that it will work with is Blender. So you'll be able to do 3D CGI, possibly for a small game studio, an indie game studio that wants to do a cool cutscene, but doesn't want to have to spend the massive amount of money to like rent out servers from Amazon's AWS or Microsoft's Azure, or one of those examples. Or even a smaller movie studio that doesn't have the resources of Pixar with a dedicated server farm that they use to do their 3D CGI. you'll be able to use distributed computing, where I could offer some of my computational resources when I'm not gaming on my computer. So while I'm at work, when I'm sleeping, I can offer up my computer's power to do 3D rendering for somebody else, which is a very awesome use case. Beyond that, in the future, there's a lot of very interesting use cases for Golem. So if you look at their website and go to what's next, you can see that they have the goals of being able to do machine learning, scientific computing, business analytics, and microservices and apps. So you can see how Golem could, in the future, provide a very valuable service, not only to businesses, but also possibly to the human race through like scientific computing. And that could be tasks very similar, or also even future replacements for services like Folding at Home or SETI at Home with scientific computing. So that's why I think Golem could be a massive player in the future. And some quick examples of how I think all the power being put towards cryptocurrencies isn't purely wasted. And there is a lot of power being put towards cryptocurrencies that are completely useless, I will admit that. And even ones that do useless tasks, such as Bitcoin right now, which doesn't use GPUs anymore because of ASIC miners are more efficient. But at least Bitcoin does have the potential, and the blockchain technology in general does have the potential of completely revolutionizing our financial world. So it's not completely wasted in my mind, but in the future we will be able to put our computational power and still utilize cryptocurrency, but to put it to very good real world use cases with distributed computing. All right, so that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. If you were left with any ideas or any comments about what I have said in this video or about this topic in general, leave those in the comments below. I definitely want to open up more discussion about this topic and how cryptocurrency definitely isn't all doom and gloom for the PC gaming industry. If you liked this video, leave a big like. I greatly appreciate that, guys. And also, if you're not already a same subscriber, smash that subscribe button right away to stay tuned for more great videos from Thought Provoking Tech. Until next time, Zach out.